So listen, guys. Can I do this? There we go. Beautiful.
Right?
Perfect. Perfect. Diane, I don't see you. Where are you at? So,
I'm
guys.
right here, buddy.
All right. Welcome. We wanted to do a real quick breaking news show because we do have breaking news. Which one of you esteemed colleagues would like to announce the breaking news?
Kamala went away just like I dreamt it.
Hashtag.
Kamala's gone. Kamala is gone.
Hashtag canceled.
Kamala is gone.
Cancel culture.
Kamala Harris, deuces.
Deuces. Take
Well,
her
no,
hot
no,
sauce,
Eric,
her
here's
collard
the- here's the-
greens. Take it all.
Well, you know what, though? Guess what? We have canceled her out. You know, at cancel, what is it? At cancel culture. What is it, Eric?
Cancel culture. That's right.
Yes,
Hashtag
she's gone.
cancel culture. Hashtag cancel her. Hashtag cancel.
That's right. So I had a question. So, I mean, she's putting a videotape out. And, you know, she's talking about why she's moving on. I read her statement. You know,
Do
it
you
was a
care?
dignified.
What did the statement say? Because I read another article that said that she suspended her campaign. So what exactly did she say?
She says, I'm gone home. I can't raise any more money. I'm angry at Bloomberg. He spent $30 million, the same amount of money I spent in the last couple of years, I raised in the last couple of years, and she's gone. And you know what? Good for her. You know, she spent a lot of time, you know, disrespecting the black community, locking us up, you know, doing all the things so that she deliciously loved, you know, and now she's gone, and I don't feel sorry for her. And I'm happy to know that there's some black Americans in this country that are paying attention. We are canceling out everybody.
Do you think that Black America was really paying attention?
Oh,
and
yes,
got
without
together
question.
And they stopped supporting her?
Oh, absolutely.
Without question.
Absolutely.
So you think her going to the HBCU and being a sorority
None of it
sister
mattered.
didn't help anything?
None of
for
it
her?
mattered. At the end of the day, they sniffed her out and realized she was a fraud. She was fugazi. Hashtag cancel culture. Hashtag cancel her. Hashtag canceled. Done.
And we have the right. And guess what? From day one, I'm listening to the pundit class trying to rationalize who she was, and I'm listening to the pundit class that works for the ultra media class try to suggest that she might be a VP candidate. Suggest that, you know, she put up a great fight. But
You know
because
what?
of Bloomberg, I thought that
Kevin,
was just
all
absolutely
right, so
ridiculous.
I want to say this. Look, pandering. So when they talked about Stacey Abrams, right, you had Biden come out early and have interviews with Stacey Abrams, just completely discounted her as a qualified black woman, right? Wanted to subjugate her. Then you have now this floating of Kamala being a VP. And I guarantee you when 2% checks out too, because he's gone, hashtag cancel culture, hashtag cancel him. I can't wait to say hashtag canceled as far as Cory Booker is concerned. They're going to float him around too, because what they need to do now, the Corporation of White Supremacy needs to emotionalize the black community. They need to dangle a carrot in front of the black community with these politicians saying that they're going to have them be a vice president.
So my
We
question to
don't
you is,
need them.
what do you think California is going to do when she comes back as a U.S. Senator? Do you think that they're going to require anything more of her?
Well, no, I think that California is purely Democrat. I don't think anybody's going to really challenge her outside of the Republican, but she's damaged goods now. We know her record. We know who she is. I mean, I would be shocked if the Democratic Party would allow anybody to run against her unless there's another billionaire that just wants to clean her clock. But at the end of the day, I don't think California is going to do anything to take her seat away from her. But one of the great things that we do know, without a shadow of a doubt, we know who she is. We know who she is. We know what her record is. And we know that black Americans across this country said, you got us once, but you will not get us twice. She needs to call up Barack Obama and say, you know what? You did too of a good job. Because nobody was going to settle for her anymore. I mean, for his kind of candidate anymore. Nobody was going to do that. No one. So guess what? I'm glad to see she's moved on. I know she will not be considered for anything outside of being a U.S. senator, and God bless her. We do know whatever she can get done there, she'll get done there. But she didn't do much since she's been there.
So you don't think that there'll be a challenger that'll come up and run up against her based on everything that's
Well, I hope
publicly
so.
said about her?
Listen, I don't think that there should be any politician that runs unopposed. I think it's the most dangerous thing to our democracy to have politicians run unopposed. That means that you're not challenging ideas.
Right.
I
agree.
So I hope that she is primary. Now, again, I just want to say to all of the people that the corporation white supremacy tries to brainwash and subjugate and get to believe that your efforts are of no consequence. That's not true. Why? We canceled her. We canceled Kamala Harris. Done. They put her up there. They put her up on the stage. They said how she was surging in the number. Remember that, Kevin? Oh, she's surging. She's surging.
Oh, I remember.
Yo, she's surging. But I want you to know, listen to the other ones that they're saying are surging. They're saying Buttigieg is surging. He's going to be canceled too.
So wait, should we tackle Buttigieg next, or should we be concerned with Cory Booker and Gillette?
All of them, Diane. We can multitask. We can multitask. All of them. I
think that Cory Booker is going to try to hold on for another 30 days so it won't look so bad that both assumed black candidates didn't get the support from black people in America. I keep saying it, Eric. You've talked about it. I've talked about it. There's going to be a huge drop. If they don't get their act together, there's going to be a huge drop in black turnout in this election. No one is settling for these big, bold prescriptions, right, that is lifting everybody else up and keeping us drowning. Nobody's doing it anymore. Nobody's buying it.
But do they really recognize that it's the black vote that they...
Oh, they do. They do.
Of course they do. That's all they talk about.
So not just needing our vote, but do they think that our voices are enough that they should change the way the structure of the Democratic Party is going?
Oh, not yet, Diane. Diane, not yet. The corporation white supremacy has so much contempt for the black community. They operate with such hubris, Diane, that they believe that they have conditioned us, that they have done a deep conditioning on us, and they believe they can go one more again. That's what they believe. They believe they got one. They believe they can go one more again. And then maybe they'll check out. I don't know.
But you know what, Eric? You're right. But I think was you, Diane, earlier today, sent me an article where the Democratic Party now is shifting their message. They're saying that poor black people should be blamed for their own problems, their own poverty, their own condition, right? They did the same thing in the early 1800s. They said that, white people are doing good because they just white, and black people are doing bad because they just black. Right. They did that. They said that.
See, but this is the hatred.
I'm not surprised.
But this is the hatred and contempt. And I got the article right here. It's in Forbes magazine. It says Democrat politicians go back. See, they used to blame us. Then they figured, you know what? We'll stroke these Negroes and we'll kind of convince them that there's something, that they're important. You see that they need to participate. And then when we started participating, they said, oh, we don't want you to participate like that. So now they're going back to blaming black folks for their poverty.
Oh, yeah, that's what they're doing. And not only that, though, they're saying because of Hillary Clinton. You remember there was a big drop in the Hillary vote from black Americans, foundational black Americans. It went down to 57% from like 62% to 57%. And I'm saying it, and we've been talking about this. It's going to drop even further.
Now, what article was that out of, Eric?
Forbes magazine.
So the LA Times is saying that Kamala Harris muddled her purpose, her campaign infighting, and inability to sustain support from the vital Democratic blocs, particularly African Americans. So she couldn't with her own people.
Well, she was not a purpose. See, here's the problem.
Kevin, she couldn't connect with her own people. Does that
mean
they
weren't her people? Diane, no, she's not. Diane, I don't care how many collard greens she cooked. I don't care how much hot sauce she had in her bag. I don't care how many times she went on a Breakfast Club. She's not foundational black American.
No, and I got to tell you, Eric, that's the fault line right there. They're not buying it anymore. They're not buying it. I got to say, I'm impressed. I mean, I'm not going to jump up for joy.
Oh, I'm jumping up and down,
that
man.
People are pushing back. People are saying, listen, you don't have the right to stand in front of us and tell us that you know who we are, and what we're going through, and you don't understand right now at this time in history that we ain't taking your nonsense anymore. We don't want the corporation of white supremacy. We don't want the Democratic Party. We don't want anybody to tell us who we should be listening to unless they have what? A plan, and they're talking to us about what we need in the future. We are not taking a step back. We're taking a step forward. And I got to tell you something. Cory Booker and Kamala Harris has finally shown the Democratic Party that's it. You will not showcase those kind of people to us anymore. Now, Cory Booker is going to stay on another month because he just can't come home right now. But we're going to do the hashtag Cory Booker come home. But Buttigieg is the one that we got to put our attention to. Now, I got to agree with you and Eric. You both said it. He is the devil. He is actually attempting to compare his privilege to our black disaster. He is now trying to do what I haven't seen this in a long time. He's running into burning churches, saying, please stand in front of me and give me some black cover. Instead of him just saying, I don't have a relationship with the black community. I don't know anything about the black community.
Here's my prediction. So the media right now, all the pundits are trying to push him ahead in Iowa, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to lose Iowa. He's going to lose New Hampshire. Once he loses those two lily white states, when he loses them, he will drop like a brick because that southern wall of black voters that they're hoping emotionalize themselves around this guy, and can see some win in him, they're going to see complete failure in those two states. We're going to see it in Iowa in less than a month.
Yeah, we're 60 days out, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's very true. But also what I think he's avoiding, and he hasn't been pushing a lot, I don't see that Midwest, especially Iowa, being on support about LGBTQ and having a gay president.
Well, you know what? You might have a point there because I got to tell you where he's going to really hit the wall with that. I mean, he hasn't even thought about this yet. But when he gets to the Carolinas, that's that Bible Belt.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, South Carolina. But listen, do you guys really believe that Buttigieg is on the chessboard to win?
No.
Thank you. So all of this that we're talking about.
Wait a minute, Diane. Eric, sit down in that chair and just stop it.
Okay, I'm gonna jump out that window.
Eric, I know my window's right here. Eric, listen. Remember when you were having this conversation about 4 years, almost 4 years now, about Donald Trump, right? And those 12 established Republicans were up there, and those oligarchs made Donald Trump the president. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's the same scenario. But you know what? Buttigieg is something very interesting to me. I'm going to be watching him closely. But when you look at his track record when it comes to black Americans in this country, he has none. He has a worse track record than, prison Biden. I call Biden prison Biden. So at the end of the day, Eric, I'm not going to just push it to the side. But what we need to start doing is doing what we did to Kamala. Talking about him, focusing on him, watching him. Listen, every time he opens up his mouth, because listen, the last couple of weeks, he's had a bad month.
Yeah.
He's had a very bad month when it comes to articulating anything.
But not, I'm not saying that he's going to be out because he's the devil. He is the devil, right? He's going to be out because, you can't compare him to Donald Trump. Donald Trump...
yeah, you're right.
Donald Trump had a very specific message for a very specific group of people.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
Buttigieg, his message is a centrist or neoliberal message. Now,
and we don't want that.
And we don't want it. And he can't change. That's who he is, and he's trying to pull that vote. And he's trying, I guess, he's also on the board to try to confuse the millennials into believing that he's young and that he's thinking about them. They're not buying it either. I said the other day.
I don't think they're buying. You're right. I don't think they're buying it out. But let's get back to Kamala for a second.
Yeah, I'd like to stay on her.
Because Kamala dropped out, that Yang is going to get a couple of more points.
Oh, Yang is going to be fine.
Hey, I love Yang.
Yang is going to be in it for the long haul. Right.
Do you think that Warren and Sanders are going to pick up any of those Kamala Harris?
They already took them already.
Yeah.
They took them already.
Yeah.
It's gone.
They took them already. They took those votes. Those votes been gone from her 6 months ago. She doesn't have it. She was an empty shell for a while. But here's the deal. This is why you really I just can't get past this young lady. Because after she tried to do her black thing, poke herself in our lineage, she went back to being an Indian Asian. Then she went back to being Jamaican. Then she couldn't answer the questions on health care. She was all over the board. She was just trying to get somebody to grab something.
Now watch what she does next.
But Diane, look what she did, though.
You know what she's going to do? She's going to take her black shampoo. She's going to take her Indian and Jamaican shampoo, and she's going to wash Biden, and she's going to wash Bloomberg in it as much as she can to bring them into the community. That's what she's going to do.
No, I beg to differ.
Bloomberg is not going to get in the community. People in the East Coast, New Jersey, New York, tri-state area, we know about stop and frisk. We have been a part of stop and frisk. If not all three of us have been stopped and frisked in the tri-state. We ain't buying his crap.
Well, let me tell you something about. Let's stay one more second on Kamala, because we got to talk about those other things you just brought up, Eric and Diane.
And what are you here for?
Last week, she started saying, "This is happening to me because I'm a woman."
No.
Then she had the other girl, the braided girl, the girl that comes on TV, Joy Reid, screaming and hollering. Worse
Hey,
than
Diane, what do you think about
Joy's?
Joy's new hairdo? With the braids going down the side like this, Diane? And
I'm looking at it. Let me check it out. Go ahead.
So anyway, all of a sudden it became about her being a woman.
Right.
All of a sudden she said, "I'm not being treated fairly." All of a sudden she's saying nobody's focusing on Bloomberg's record on crime. Nobody's focusing on Biden's record on crime. But yes, we are. Yeah. Then she went after Bernie Sanders and nobody's attacking him and saying he voted on a crime bill. Yes, we have. We've been talking about that.
right.
We've been talking about that from day one. When Bloomberg came out last week.
Braids and it goes up in his bunny.
Yeah, she's got something special going on. But last week, she took that.
Maybe that's the holiday look because she's traveling. So this way she doesn't have to do a lot with her hair.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't know anything about. But I could give
I'm serious.
I could give her a better suggestion. Go back the other way. But anyway, but that's what I think is the problem. I thought that was pretty uncool when she did that. If you're running, you're running. You punch the guys in the face. You keep it going. You lose, you win. Would you just keep doing it? But she went and fell back in that. And then she started trying to blame the black community for not standing up with her when they were never with her in the first place. She thought those sorority women were going to support her. Like, oh, the sorority, the black colleges. No, they didn't buy it. Those black kids on those college campuses are very smart. They're paying attention.
No,
Hey, whoa, you're right. So I got to tell you, I think that it was great to see her move on. Cory Booker's 30 days out. Buttigieg is about 130 days out. And we're going to keep knocking these kids off the island.
What date is the next primary? Do you know offhand?
It's 60 days.
It's
60 days.
No. The debate, you mean?
Or the primary.
Oh, Iowa is in it's
60
skewed
days.
in 60 days. Yeah.
60 days. And the next debate is when? In December or something?
Yeah, it's coming up soon. So I'm happy to see her move on, and I hope she does what Obama's going to do in the next couple of weeks. Just be quiet. You see, Obama went off the stage when he started talking about, Eric, they got him right off the stage. He has nothing to say.
So, Diane, to answer your question, February 3rd is the caucus in Iowa.
Is the caucus in Iowa, and the next debate is December, because Tom Steyer just qualified for the December one.
Well, first of all, you got 16 candidates, Diane, left. They got to go.
No, a couple more. No.
16 left?
No, two left.
Well,
Kamala got kicked off the island today. Well, she's
so
packing
13
it back.
Or 14?
December 19th is the next one that they have to qualify for. So they have to qualify financially, and they have to qualify with the numbers.
Yeah, I think, Kev, I think they're probably going to be 10 candidates or 9 on the stage in December. Maybe 9.
Listen, we got to get down. Listen, okay, so we know Kamala's gone. Thank you, Lord. We know Cory Booker's 30 days out. We know Buttigieg is about let's say 130, 160 days out. We know we got to focus on Buttigieg. We got to get him off the stage.
Who's the last three you think are going to be standing?
You mean four?
No, I think they're going to be, well, I think you're going to have Sanders. You're going to have Warren.
Without question. Without question.
I think.
And who's going to be their competition? Because it's going to be a third person.
I think that, look, I don't think you're going to have Bloomberg and Biden on that stage together in the end. It's going to be one of them. And I think it's going to be No, hey, Eric, you know what, Eric? It's going to be Bloomberg. Listen, let's just deal with the Bloomberg scenario right now. Whether we like him or not, I like him. Stop or frisk, stop me from. I'm not voting for the guy. But the guy, no, stop. I'm not voting for anybody that locked us up. I'm just not doing it.
No, I'm not.
$30 million in TV buy in a week. So he's going to do that every week, not just on TV buy. He's going to eat up all of the professionals in the country. He's going to eat it all up. But it goes back to what Eric said. He's doing this. He is actually giving the Democratic Party a loan.
No, but understand what he's doing
what
too.
What does that mean?
But
so
here's the other.
What does it mean that Bloomberg has all of that money to put into media? What does that mean for the normal voter?
Well, so there lies the issue, Diane. He is feeding directly into what Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren have been saying, that billionaires control this thing and that they don't want to relinquish power to the ordinary person. So understand what you have right now. You have a clear line of delineation between Bloomberg and all of his money and those millions of people who are spending $18 a piece to fuel Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren's campaign. That's who you have. You don't have anybody donating to Bloomberg's campaign. You got Bloomberg saying, you know what? I'm going to take care of me and I'm going to take care of the billionaire class at the expense of the 99% and in particular the 13% of foundational black Americans. We better wake up.
Eric,
get on code.
And the fact the way he ran the court, do you think?
Say what, Diane?
Bloomberg would not get the support from other people across the country because of that, because he's not taking dollars from other people.
Diane, he's got no coalition. Diane, I mean, think about it. He's got money, but he doesn't have a coalition. He's built nothing. So everything he has, he's going to have to go around like the Pied Piper, dropping hundreds of thousands of dollars everywhere, sweeping up Negro whisperers and slave catchers to go out and do his bidding. That's what he's got to do. That will be the makeup of the Bloomberg campaign.
But let's say this, Eric. You and I, Diane, have been in this marketplace for a long time. And we know the pundit class and the media class, I should say the pundit class and the lobby class, you know they're going to be eating that money up. So he's going to shrink the marketplace. He's going to shrink everything, right? And I believe you're right that there's going to be a class warfare. Finally, that's going to be out in front of everybody's face. You're going to see it in full bloom, and you're going to see the wealthy class fighting the poor class, the Bernie Sanders class, however you want it. I don't like the word progressive, but you're going to have those two groups fighting in the next 300, let's say, 250 days. You're going to see it's going to be full blown. And Bloomberg is going to show you without a shadow of a doubt who runs the country, who manages the press. If you were confused, you got it now.
Well, listen, you saw what Bloomberg already did, right? He said that he was going to take Bloomberg News and that he was not going to use it to critique the Democrat candidates. So now, understand, and so and then that was the headline that came out.
What do you mean? He's not going to say anything slanderous against them?
Correct. And so now Donald Trump said, well, you know what? He said, I'm removing them. I'm blacklisting them. They can't be a part. They can't come into the be a part of the press gaggle in the White House and then critique me as a Republican, but you're saying openly that you're not going to critique the Democratic candidates. So Bloomberg has already decided to weaponize his media.
Well, it's the same thing with Comcast, MSNBC. I mean, you should have seen the love affair that they had with Kamala Harris about 2 hours ago. They were like, oh, you know, she ran a great campaign. No, she didn't. Oh, you know, I mean, it was unbelievable.
The best thing that we know is the campaign is over, so we don't care what they say. They can romanticize it. It is
what is it? La 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 la. Hey, goodbye.
Wait a minute, though. So Buttigieg, we all talking about Buttigieg, right? What does he do?
wouldn't pronounce his damn name right.
His name is Buddha Judge.
Buddha Judge, with a judge at the end.
Yeah, like Judge Brown, Buddha Judge.
Well, we got Kamala Harris' name right before she left. So it's going to take me a little. It's going to take me a little while. So anyway, so think about this, Diane. You know, now they're tracking everything that he did as a mayor, and it's horrible. This guy was a mean person. I mean, he displaced people.
Listen,
I mean, this guy's horrible.
We know his record as a mayor. We know his record, particularly toward the black community, right? We already know that. The very fact that the media, including people like Rachel Maddow and MSNBC, refuse to report the true facts about him shows the contempt that they have for foundational black Americans. And the 99%.
Yeah, and without a shadow of a doubt, Eric. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Understand that.
And I don't even watch MSNBC anymore, but I got to say, I turned it on, I called you, and I got to say one thing, Eric. Kudos to you by doing this special news segment for us. I think it's great. I got to tell you, I think it was brilliant idea. But, you know, Buddha Judge.
There you go,
whatever
Buddha Judge.
His name is Buddha Jug. But he's got. We really,
Mayor Pete.
We really got to watch him, guys. We got to watch that guy. I'm keeping my eye on him. You know, and I think we should do a hashtag over the next couple of days. Corey, come home. I think 2% got to come home.
Yeah.
Now, you know, did you see his commercial?
Oh God.
About the civil rights. I say maybe he's caught up in a time warp. You know, maybe something's going on with him. But I got to tell you, I don't know if you know him just as well as I thought I knew him years ago. I don't know anything about him anymore. But he can't handle this issue that nobody likes him anymore. He cannot handle it. I don't think
he's a narcissist. He doesn't care if people like him or not. He's going to still stay out in the forefront, and he's going to tell his stories. Tall, long, you know.
He got 30 days. He got 30 days. 30 days.
We got 30 more.
30 days. No one is going to be calling Cory Booker up and talking to him about anything. 30 days. He's got 30 days, and we're going to start the hashtag. We want to do it Monday, Eric, or we want to do it Friday. Cory, come home. Just come on home. Let's just stop. No more civil rights commercials. No more love. No more love.
New Jersey, what do we
and look,
want? We
you know
don't want them
what, you know what, Kevin? And I agree with you.
Yeah.
And what I'd like to do is for the informed class, guys, I want it to be clear. In this election that we have made our mark. That we didn't sit silent during this fight. That we didn't watch our brothers and sisters across the country fighting and battling, you know, and that we sat on the sidelines. I want them to say, you know what? What the hell was happening? Where'd that rumble come from in New Jersey? And I want them to be able to point to the informed class and say there were a group of people who cared enough to get on that wall and to fight like hell to bring information to the people. That's what I like to do. So, Kevin, I agree. We're going to create the hashtag Cory Come On Home. And then I want everybody...
Just said, I got excited when I saw breaking news, thought it was finally some movement in North. Yeah, right, yeah. Well,
no.
Yeah,
hey,
right.
listen,
okay.
Just Shady, we getting there, though. We're getting there, trust me.
But I got to tell you, you know, everybody kept asking me, where are Kamala's votes going? I said, they've left her months ago. I think your question earlier, Diane, you know, they left. They've been gone. You know, and that New York Times article New York Times and Washington Post just annihilated her this weekend. Wow. And everybody knew we were talking about her campaign for some months and that it was like it had no direction. But for her to fall back on being a woman, you know, and I do believe this one thing. I do believe that the party, the Democratic Party, they are not pro-black women.
Kevin, they used her.
No, wait a minute, though.
Kevin, they used her. She knew that she was being used. She just tried to outsmart them, and she lost. Right? But she knew that they used her. They drug her out there, tried to cloak her in blackness. Right? She went along with it, and now she's crying victim.
I'm going to tell you why.
Pack your bags, Kamala, and go home. Hashtag cancel.
Hey, Eric, I think if she would have done the opposite of what Obama did, he sung Al Green, she should have done some Aretha Franklin. And she might still be in the race. She might still be in the race. If she'd have sung some Aretha Franklin, I'm telling you, she'd still be around. I mean, and guess what? Those sorority sisters, And that HBCU stuff that she was doing fell flat. And there was a lot of people, Diane, that was single focused on her. They knew her record. And the other thing that Joy Reid did this weekend, I mean, she kept saying that we don't really know her record. Like, we didn't know who she was. We were hard on her. And those people that are saying we should identify as pure black, they're wrong. She attacked us.
Let me ask you a question, Kevin.
You got black people
Did Joy Reid ever do an expose on Kamala's record? No. Right? So she's going to sit there and say, we don't know the record, and I'm not going to tell you. I'm the media, but I won't tell you. Then when we sniff it out and we point it out, she says that we're bots. She says that we don't know what we're talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying? But they didn't critique her. They didn't properly critique Corey. Understand this. They haven't critiqued Mayor Pete. They haven't gone and done the work that they need to do on Biden. They haven't done this work.
Well, I think Biden.
I think the problem is because they keep recycling the same old ass people, and they get what they get.
Well, I think Biden will be around to the end because they just got to save face. They're gonna keep him propped up, you know. But at the end of the day, I think Bloomberg is not going anywhere. Biden's gonna stick around. Harris and Warren is gonna stick around, and they're gonna do their damnedest. Warren and Sanders are gonna stick around, and they're gonna do their damnedest. They are. They're gonna try to keep Buttigieg. They're gonna try to keep him around. Because he represents a special, for some apparent reason, you know, his whole connection with the black community and suggesting that because of who he is and what he is, like, I thought that was ridiculous.
Because he's gay, he's connected to us because he's gay and we black.
I thought something was wrong with him when he said that. That didn't make much sense to me.
That's not the connection.
And it really didn't. But I'm glad to see that she's moved on, and I'm going to write her a love letter. It's called At Cancel.
I want to thank you guys, man. And we need to do this. As breaking news comes up and as the team is available, we'll come on and we'll give you a vignette of what's going on so that you're aware. And we'll unpack it more tomorrow because I'm sure
please share the show. Please share it. But I got to tell you, it was a stroke of genius, Eric, because I was sitting here with a tear down my eye of joy that Kamala was leaving the stage.
Kevin, listen.
I got to tell you, I mean, anybody that locked up women at home in their pajamas, carting them out with a TV camera, saying you're going to jail because your kid didn't go to school, and then when she took advantage of that family, that daughter was murdered by those police officers and used them for a political prop, she's got to go. I mean, her record was horrible. And then
I think it's time for black people to start standing up and stop being used for these political props and these pictures and all
I agree.
As well. I think they have to do something. They have to play a role in that as well.
Absolutely.
Eric.
Listen, dance in the street, people. We did well. We got more work to do.
We got her first. We got Booker's in 30 days.
Hey, Kevin. Hey, Kevin. Listen, man. Corporation of white supremacy.
Wait a minute, though. Just Shady Layton says, "Shit, I'm gay," and I hated the guy. I thought it was fascinating when he did that. Oh, well, you know, we share the same experience. Huh? What? What experience? What? You ain't getting stopped and frisked. You ain't getting hit over the head. You ain't getting dragged out of the house. You ain't getting murdered just by walking up the street. Man, please. Man, bye. Buttigieg, you got to go. Boy, bye.
Hashtag Corey, come on home.
All right, guys. I love you guys.
Hey, talk to you later. Please hit share button, guys.
Yeah, good. Okay, thanks.
Share, subscribe.